Hello traders, welcome to the Upper Hand Trader channel. David here. Today we're going to quickly go through the stocks. I believe there is a very good short opportunity coming up in the markets. I'm going to explain it a little bit. So this is the Dow Jones US 30 weekly chart. We have this channel down. Trend line is marked off, the lows reflected to the high here. Create a channel there. If we drop to daily, we're getting to this zone here, confluence zone, between the down channel line and this resistance zone here. It's resistance from the September move up here about a month and a half ago. So we had a big reaction down there, so it's likely that it could happen again. Looking at stochastics, we see the monthly is still moving down, so not looking to long this market yet, at least not in a long-term perspective. Obviously this week there were some long opportunities if you were playing smaller time frames. The weekly is moving up with some power, and the daily is overbought as well as 4 hour. On this market here, the down 30, in our view, the best play is to take the cross down, the daily crossing the weekly down, if it happens with some purpose, some momentum, like these examples here. I'll mark them here so you can see. So here, daily crossed. This is the daily stochastic. This is the weekly stochastics. So the daily crossed the weekly there. The weekly was pretty high, close to the 80 level. So there was plenty of space for it to go down. So it was good. In this instance, if the channel holds, it's unlikely that the weekly will go as high as it went on this instance. Maybe it will be something more like here, where the weekly is around the 50 level, 60 or so. Similar to what happened here. This first one, the stochastics were very spreaded, so there was no momentum there. So definitely the second one would have been a better opportunity. It happened as well, but in this case it worked fine, but the weekly was still very low, around 36, so there was not a lot of room for it to go down. Here it seems like it will be something between this and this if it starts moving down off the channel. Obviously if it breaks this level and the channel, then we have to reevaluate the situation. If we break this supply zone here and the channel, then we have to reevaluate. But as it is, I would look for the stochastic here to start moving down and crossing this one. If it crosses with momentum, it's a great short opportunity. If we look at other stocks, NASDAQ, US Tech, the recovery was not anywhere near as good as it was on the Dow. Here's the daily. So the monthly is still oversold and with some momentum there. The weekly hasn't recovered as well as on the other ones. So as this daily turns down here, the opportunities in this case will be not on the cross of daily and weekly, because they are very far apart. By the time the daily gets down to this weekly all the way down here, we'll probably have lost most of the move. So the idea is to wait for example, like similar to this, will be a trade more similar to this one here. So we wait for the daily to turn and start moving down. Then we go down to let's go to 1 hour and see what happened on that instance. And it shouldn't be very different here. Hold on, let me just see the date. That was on May, hold on, June the 8th. So let's go to the 1 hour. So June the 8th. So it was around here, right? The daily was moving down, and the ideal trade there was either taking the 1 hour cross of the 4 hour, and then you can follow the daily down, like this cross here, for example, or this cross here. And then you would have to follow this 4 hour down or the daily down to catch most of that move. Or you take the 4 hour crossing the daily, which in this instance, the 4 hour was already below the daily, you see. So as it turns down, it's a good trade opportunity. You can ride that all the way till the 4 hour crosses the daily again. And it's a massive trade. So I believe this will be the opportunity here. So we wait for this daily to close down, start turning down, and then we take 4 hour moves down. That will take that daily back to the weekly, which is very far apart. In terms of the S&P, the play is very similar to what I just explained on the NASDAQ. The weekly here has recovered better than on the NASDAQ, not as well as on the Dow, but better than the NASDAQ. So it's something in between. But it's quite far from the weekly here. I would wait for the daily to start moving down and take those 4 hour down movements. So the 4 hour moving down, you can take the 1 hour crosses of the 4 hour or the 4 hour cross of the daily. If the 4 hour is already below the daily, we can take it as it turns down. So we wait for this daily to cross the 80 level down, and we ride the 4 hour with it. Like, let's catch that example. So here, you see, it's below. Sorry. So the daily closes below the 80, and we can take the trade then, ride that 4 hour as long as it's below the daily. We are good, you see. As it moves above, then you can exit and you can re-enter as it moves inside the daily again, as long as the weekly is far down and the monthly is also pointing down. So those would be my place on the US stocks. As for FTSE, monthly still similar, moving down, spread but with some momentum. The weekly is losing momentum. You can see it's losing power. It had a good week last week. This week it's losing momentum. So I'll be daily's pretty far off the weekly. I'll be waiting similar play as the US stocks. Wait for it to turn and the daily to turn, and then we can ride those 4 hours with it. That's the best play there. Will be similar to, hold on, there's no recent situation similar to that here on the FTSE. As for the DAX, weekly down, it's losing momentum a little bit. The DAX recovered very well on the weekly, but again it's bouncing off that down channel. So I would watch it. This is also a supply zone here. We are roughly inside it now. I expect some reaction. There was big reaction there. Our daily is overbought. The weekly is going up. On the Dow here, on the DAX, sorry, I would wait for the daily to start moving down and cross that weekly. So similar play, similar to this and this, and you can see what happened in those two moves here and again here. So that's it for the indices. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and see you on our next analysis. Thank you.